One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
So in case you're wondering what you're looking at, you are looking at Donald Trump at the University of Georgia at the University of Alabama football game that took place last night. It was an amazing game. Alabama won 41-34. It looks like it was going to be a blowout, and then Georgia came storming back. But what was most important to me was to see what transpired when Donald Trump showed up at the stadium. We knew in advance it was going to happen, but can you imagine 70, 80,000 people just erupting from both sides? Didn't matter if you were the visitor or the home team. Everybody erupted when he actually went to the game. And what was really funny was that Kid Rock, Bocephus, in case you guys don't know who Bocephus is none other than Hank Williams Jr., Country Boy Can Survive, amazing, Herschel Walker, I mean, it was the who's who at that point of Southern culture. And the people went absolutely nuts. Dude's throwing chicken fingers and cheeseburgers and pizza to the crowd. Secret Service must have been going absolutely nuts. Like, what are we doing here? Don't worry, man. They're college kids and they're for Trump. Gotta love it. Can you imagine Kamala doing this? I just want you, as you're watching these clips, you say to yourself, I don't think Kamala could ever do this. Pretty young college girls like Trump. I know we talked about Newsweek earlier today, and Newsweek said, why do conservatives like hot women? Okay. Listen to that. The stands just completely erupt seeing Donald Trump walk out. It's unbelievable. It gives you a little bit of chills. Stick a fork in Kamala and Tampon Tim. Nobody wants them. And I hope when you see this, you realize it's not staged. So if any of the libnuts out there are like, oh, that was staged, it's wherever he goes. If he goes to a NASCAR race, if he goes to a UFC fight, wherever this man appears, people go absolutely nuts. That doesn't happen for Kamala Harris. She had a parade today and like 50 people showed up. Tampon Tim went to the Michigan game. 100,000 people at the Michigan game versus Minnesota. They booed him. Get out. Want nothing to do with you. Meanwhile, Trump is just getting showered with love. That's Kid Rock back there with the shades on. That guy right there in the hoodie, he looks like he's a janitor or some old guy. The guy back there with the long beard looks like he just like crawled out from underneath the stadium. That's golfer John Daly, who absolutely loves Trump, and he and Trump get along very well. But he looks like an absolute bum. What's that? A black kid? Oh my God. The ladies dig Trump. The man loves being out in his element. He loves being out there in the crowd. I want to show you a couple still pictures that happened last night just to bring you up to speed as well. This is up in the Sky booth where they actually had to put the entire booth under bulletproof glass just because of precautions. And that's Tommy Tuberville on the right there. The guy in the beard, as I mentioned, that's John Daly, who looks like they just found some homeless guy and gave him a ticket. Obviously the black man behind him is Herschel Walker, and the dude with the shades is Kid Rock. So they had a rousing party up in the booth there. Down on the field, Kid Rock and Bocephus meet with and John Daly. Look at him, he looks like Gandalf. Gandalf is down there meeting with the Alabama players. So you got Kid Rock with a beer in his hand, Bocephus and John Daly meeting with a couple players from Alabama. And then another shot here up in the booth. Tommy Tuberville, Trump. I don't know who the guy is with the Make America Great Again hat on. The guy with the black hat, that's Bocephus. Obviously, the black man is Herschel Walker. And I believe her name is Katie Britt, one of the Congress people from Alabama. So Trump goes there, and the entire crowd goes wild. And the reason why I wanted to wait and show this to you today is because a lot of people have seen the pictures. A lot of people have seen the crowd. Many of you have seen the interview that we're going to break down as he talks to Clay Travis from the Clay and Buck Show, the show that took Rush Limbaugh's spot on the daytime hour of 12 to 3. What's interesting is what Kamala Harris did. So I'm not sure if anyone has talked about that. What Kamala Harris tried to do, and this is just absolutely insane. Kamala Harris has been telling the media she hired a small plane to fly over Trump at the Alabama-Georgia game tonight, carrying a banner that says Trump's punting on the second debate. She took a banner plane and flew it around the stadium at night, expecting people who were focusing on the Georgia-Alabama game, one of the biggest college football games of the year. They're going to be looking at Kamala's banner flying around, complaining that Trump won't do a second debate with her. She spent money, good hard-earned dollars from donors, or maybe it wasn't. But either way, she spent money flying a plane around in the dark sky, hoping that people would look the other way from the game that was fantastic and notice that she's complaining because he won't debate me. That's what she did with the money. I said that in a tweet yesterday. I said, at that point, she may have just as well, the donors should have all gotten together, grabbed cash that you donated to Kamala, wipe your butt with it, and flush it down the toilet. That's what this woman is doing with donor money. She is flushing it down the toilet. It makes absolutely no sense. Having been in advertising for quite some time, I would have told her, hey, listen, nobody cares about you not getting your second debate, and you're not going to get people to really look up in the sky other than to laugh at you. They're having a good time. They're rocking in this stadium. It's a great football game. Trump's up in a skybox, and you're like writing in the sky like Dorothy, free Dorothy. You're on your broomstick trying to tell people, look at me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. How pathetic. How absolutely pathetic. A banner plane around the Alabama game? Oh, God, it's horrible. Because evidently she thinks it will be super funny. No word from the Secret Service whether they think it's a good idea to violate the former president's security bubble. So what they're saying there is, yeah, that's probably a no-fly zone because Trump's there, or it better have been because Trump's there, because it's your job to secure him, and you're telling me a plane can go ahead and fly around the perimeter of this stadium and show a banner? Did they approve that? If they approve that, we got a whole nother problem. we got a whole nother problem if that actually happened. The plane in this, what do you see in this clip here? Not clip, but image. That's AI. It's not the actual plane. Somebody just put it there, but it looks kind of stupid either way. But I can't imagine that the Secret Service cleared a plane to fly around over the stadium where Trump was. Don't be surprised if we hear in the next few days that, oh, yeah, we had another breach. Yeah, we kind of let this guy fly over the stadium where Trump was. God help us. If they let that happen, these people are bozos. Clearly, the vice president is desperate for a second chance to save her floundering campaign. Indeed, she is. And it's getting more desperate, and the media is doing everything they possibly can to basically, support her in her desperation. So this came out today. Right below that Hezbollah's Nasrallah is toast. In Alabama, Trump goes from the dark rhetoric of his campaign to the adulation of college football fans. That's an actual headline on the Associated Press. You're reading an actual headline where they are saying in Alabama, Trump goes from dark rhetoric of his campaign to the adulation of college football fans. They actually put that in the headline. That's really desperate. You're somehow trying to make appearing at a football game bad. You're trying to make it that the fact of these people in this stadium had complete adulation at a college football game. It's as bad as the article earlier, which I showed you when it said conservative men like hot women. You are grasping at straws because you don't even understand the ideology of people who understand how to have a good time legally. There's no lube, there's no drugs, there's no chrome, nothing going on but people enjoying a football game, and that's somehow wrong. And they don't really understand how she's losing, how Tampon Timmy, who they thought was a football coach, but about his milkshakes. And now we hear tonight that he may even also pull out of the debate at the last moment. Seriously, are you serious? Is he really going to do that? I don't know if it's rumor, but it's all over Twitter right now, X. It's all over that he's having so many problems in practice that he may now pull out of the debate. This campaign of the Kamala Harris is in complete circling the bowl, going down hard. And she got absolutely embarrassed by what Donald Trump was able to do last night simply by showing up. He didn't have to do anything. He just showed up and waved. He showed up, he waved, and he threw chicken fingers and cheeseburgers and pizza at people. And watched a great game. There is nothing stopping Kamala Harris from doing that. I'm sure there are some Democrat donors, people with big money that have skyboxes at some game somewhere. Go for it. Why'd you fly a plane around and complain about him not debating you? Do you understand how pathetically embarrassing that is? You put yourself in that position. You ask someone in your office, hey, what can we do to counteract Trump in front of like 90,000 people who are watching a game and going crazy? We could fly a banner plane up in the dark and maybe people will say it and laugh at him. Whew, that worked. Go for it. Right now, she must be seething. I mean, some of these posts have gotten millions of views. People have seen him out there shaking hands. And I'm sure what they'll say tomorrow, Monday comes around. Let me just tell you what they're going to say. It was in Alabama, which means it was a bunch of rednecks. Bocephus was there, and he's a racist. Kid Rock, oh, he's a has-been. John Daly, oh, we don't even know what Gandalf is. All they can do is try to denigrate what happened. Instead of, like we do, you look with your eyes and go, that seemed to be one hell of a good time. That seemed to be 90,000 people rocking to the president showing up at a football game. Robin and I were watching this game live as it happened because I know everybody was out there posting about it, and I always wait. and I wanted to see what they said on television. And what they said on television, I can't show it because ABC owns the rights to it. They showed him once. Now, let me just set the stage. And Robin caught on it even more so than I did. She goes, if you watch the game, and it's a Kansas City Chiefs home game, you will see them cut to Taylor Swift 10, 12 times a game. Every time Travis Kelce does something good, and they show Tay-Tay, she's up there giving people high fives and everything. Like she's playing in a game. Oh, and let's cut to Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay's dancing. She's happy. Okay, she's doing some stuff. Okay, okay, let's cut to Tay-Tay, see what she's doing. They cut to Trump once last night. They cut to Trump in a 3.5 hour, 4 hour telecast of the biggest game thus far this year on the college football slate, broadcast to national television audience. They cut to Trump once. You think that's by accident? I told Robin. I said, that's ABC. That's the same network that tried to sabotage him in the debate. They cut to him once and the cameraman probably got fired. And when they cut to him, Kirk Herbstreit and I forget the other guy's name, but the other guy, Reese Davis, that's who it is. Reese Davis, no, it wasn't Reese Davis. It was, I forget the guy's name. But anyway, he goes, he's up there in one of the big money donor booths. He wasn't really part of of the festivities. What the hell does that mean? It's the same thing Taylor Swift is. She's up in somebody's big money booth. Maybe she paid for it. Who knows? Doubt it, because those booths are sold out way in advance. So she was in somebody's booth. But they cut to Trump one time. The entire length of that's all they did. All right, so I want to begin talking about Clay Travis's interview, which is a good interview. Let's go ahead and listen to this and react because it's really good how he did it. Let's look.
President Trump and basically what I would call the Avengers of the Alabama political universe here. Let's start. Jalen Milroe, you're a big football fan. How incredible has he been so far tonight?
Well, it's been great. The team has been great. And I don't know, Georgia's just off a little bit. Nothing is ever over. You know that.
Yes.
But they're certainly playing great. He looks fantastic, actually.
Actually, I think they could use Herschel.
Well, that was not nice to mention that while I was standing here. And I'm still going to vote for you, President, even though you said all those.
In case you don't know, let me just clarify something. Herschel Walker was an all-world running back for the University of Georgia. And at the time that they were doing this interview, Georgia was getting spanked. I mean, they were getting spanked like a redheaded stepchild. It was like 30-3 or something like that, something crazy. I mean, it was so bad. You're like, this is the number 2 team in the country, and they're being made to look like this. So it was whatever they filmed this. It was obviously paining. It was painful to Herschel Walker to see what was happening to his dogs.
Good words.
Well, you know, you're in Alabama. You've got Katie Barrett, whose husband played at Alabama. You got Senator Tuberville. You got Senator Daines all over the place here. When you came down the staircase 2015, you said your primary campaign was about people coming across the border and the fact that they were sending dangerous criminals.
Right.
Numbers came out. Over 400,000 criminals, 13.
As you can see on my new screen here, I'm going to keep showing this every single day until we get to the election. 425,000 convicted criminals, 15,000, nearly 16,000 people who have done bad things to women, because we can't say the actual word right there, and 13,099 actual murderers. And so I knew, just to let you know, I knew based upon yesterday's speech where Trump was going to head on every single time he got in front of a camera. I know a little bit about marketing, and I'm like, and that's why I said today, and today I let you know in advance when he did his rally today. I'm like, he's going to hit it again. This is striking people. It is hitting people. People that you didn't expect are sitting back and going, oh my God, what did they let in? And she can't recover from it. There's nothing she can do to change what has already transpired. They just didn't think anybody was going to find out. That may be why Tampon Tim might decline and back out of the debate on Tuesday. Because at this point, he knows J.D. Vance is sitting there. He's sitting there like that meme and go, yeah, bring this dude out here, okay? Tell me how you're going to defend your running mate for what she's done to America. And so now Trump, in the biggest game of the year, this part wasn't nationally televised, but it still got millions of views on Twitter and Twitter X and whoever else shared it. And I just wanted to see what other people were going to say, and they didn't understand. They haven't tied all of this together. Trump is on an immigration steamroller. He is making sure that every time a camera gets in front of him, every time somebody sticks a microphone in front of him, he's going to keep hammering it. And so tomorrow, when Clay and Buck get on the radio, it's Monday, they're going to be on 12 to 3. They're going to talk about this interview. They're going to play sound clips over and over and over. And remember, this data about the newcomers didn't come out till late. And so Monday, tomorrow, is going to be the first day all these news people are going to be able to talk about this. It's not going away. So let's continue with this.
15,000 murderers, 15,000 rapists. You know who hasn't covered it? New York Times, CBS, Washington Post, all the people who criticized you.
They're ignoring it. They're thinking that the American people are just gonna, well, okay, nope, this one won't go away. I will not let it go away on this channel. I hope there's other people doing the same. I hope you were telling everybody. This is much bigger than the baby removal business. This strikes at the heart of every single family. Much bigger. Much bigger. You watch, she's going to have to abandon her baby removal stuff. She's going to have to abandon Project 2025, especially what I got to show you about Project 2025. How do you dodge this? How does anybody on even Morning Joe, how do you dodge this? It is a steamroller. It is embarrassing. It is criminal. It's basically treasonous at this point. How do you dodge this?
Were even you stunned by how big those numbers were?
Well, I knew they were big, but nobody thought they could be. 435,000 criminals, 13,099 murderers, and nobody's ever had anything. And they're released into our country. Nobody knows who they are. They weren't checked. They weren't vetted. You would have done that, but they aren't vetted or checked or anything else. And it's so sad to see. And you know what? This is a disqualifier for her. It's just a disqualifier for Harris. You know, when you say Harris, nobody knows who she is. But this is a total disqualifier for Kamala, and she shouldn't even be allowed to run. It was her policy that allowed this to happen. This is an invasion of our country like nobody ever thought. And nobody could have believed. You know, numbers like that, those numbers have never been released. Murderers are...
Gotta wonder why they released them. Border Patrol has had enough. They said, you know what? We're going to get the October surprise just a couple days early. Let you guys see something. Let you see what we're going to see. Since she's going to come down here to the border and embarrass us, we'll just release this information. And they can't even disavow from it. It came from their own administration. It came from the Border Patrol, which is run by Homeland Security. They can't get away from it. And Trump's not going to let them.
Somebody in there said, we got to release them because it's going to destroy our country. How they got released is, in a way, it's a miracle. Because...
Politics. Dirty game. Dirty game. I don't know how they got released, but it got released.
They've never been released. Think of it, 13,099 murderers, and these are convicted killers, and they're now roaming around our fields, our streets, our cities, our towns, and it's going to be trouble for a long time, and it's all because of Kamala. She is the worst border czar. She said she's not a border czar, but she was in charge of the border no matter how you want it.
Halftime of a major college football game, he spent, 30 seconds talking about the game and giving Herschel a rub, and right into all of this stuff about immigration and everything that has happened over the last couple of years in terms of her letting these specific type of people, which he has said for years, they're not sending their best. Oh, he's racist. Oh my God, he's homophobic, xenophobic. They're not sending their best. They're sending these people over and over, he told us. And every single time they complain that he was basically being, can't believe he's being so bad. He's being Hitlerian. He's poisoning the blood of America. Oh my God, it's so Hitlerian. Now what you got to say?
And then I see her the other night. It was a disgrace. I see her the other night, and she's up there saying what she's going to do. And you just say one thing to her, why didn't she do it? To me, that's the phrase, why didn't she do it? So
that's what should have been said in the debate, but the people at ABC wouldn't let him. Hey, you keep promising stuff. What's stopping you from doing it right now? You can go just tap Dementia Joe, shake him, whatever you got to do, wake him up, get him off the beach, sign this really quick. Sign this. We got to do this.
It's disgraceful. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. There's no country in the world where that could have taken place.
She's asking for a promotion now, and she's failed at everything she's done. I'm sure you saw the ad she ran saying that she would fix the border. It maybe is the most dishonest ad any politician's ever run.
Well, she's a very dishonest person. She said...
I have to keep stopping it because I have to react and just interject some things. When he's talking about how dishonest she is, I don't know if you guys follow her threads on Twitter, X. But if you follow what she puts out, almost every single post, I almost said tweet, almost every single one is a complete lie. There is nothing truthful about what she's been posting over and over and over. And I posted something like, you need to fire your social media team. At this point, every time you post something, you get called out by the thousands. Everybody comments and going, you're a complete liar. You're not making any sense. You're just making stuff up. You are the Manchurian Candidate. You are completely fake. It's all a lie. And it just makes you think, how many people could possibly be supporting this crap? How many people are just going to just shake their head and say it's no big deal? Just as long as we can have baby removal, nothing else matters. And as long as we don't have the Orange Man. Go look up what Jamie Lee Curtis said. Go look up what Elaine from Seinfeld said. And they're like in their feelings, oh, it's a woman, it's a woman. We got to have a woman, and we got to have baby removal. I'm like, does it matter if somebody climbs over the wall around your house and decides they're going to have their way with you? Because, there's, how many? Yeah, 16,000 of them who, have the proclivity. They have the proclivity of climbing in your window and doing what they want with you. But that's okay as long as it's not the Orange Man. Is that what you're telling your daughters?
She worked at McDonald's. It turned out to be a lie. That's a simple little thing, but it's almost better than a big, complex web. She said she worked at McDonald's at the French fry. Oh, it was so tough. She never worked there. She lies, and what she's lied about really is the border.
I love Herschel Walker's face in the background.
She had nothing to do with it. She actually hurt the Border Patrol. Every Border Patrol agent has supported me, and they said I had the best border. We had the best border we've ever had. 4 years ago, we had the best border we've ever had. Now we have the worst border, I think, in the history of the world. There's never been a border like this.
Tuesday, J.D. Vance is going to take on Tim Walz in the vice presidential debate. I don't know if you saw it, but Tim Walz said Democrats have taken back football from Republicans. This stadium, I saw him put you on the Jumbotron. I would dispute that pretty aggressively. How do you think JD's going to do, and what do you think about the argument from Tim Walz that Democrats are the ones who are football fans?
Well, first of all,
that must have been before Tim Walz showed up at the stadium, because when he got there, he had to leave pretty quickly because he got booed into oblivion. Get the F out of here. Democrats have taken over football stadiums. Where? MIT, UMass, Boston University. That's about it. Somewhere up there where all the nuts play, not where the good teams play. Definitely not in Florida. Definitely not in the SEC. The SEC where football actually matters, where every stadium, every single week, every single weekend, there's 10, 12 stadiums with 100,000 people in them. You think the Democrats have taken over the SEC? You're stoned. You're absolutely stoned. All these people can do is lie, and now it's catching up with them. to say those words that you actually control college football?
I don't know if you saw it, but he was at Michigan today.
I did see that.
He got booed out of the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know how Trump gets all this information on the fly. There's people around him. They're probably saying, "Look at what's going on. Look at right here. I got this. Tim Walz got booed."
And if you saw the hand that we got, it was a little bit different, wouldn't you say? No, he's this guy. That was a big mistake. I think it was a big mistake. Now we'll see what happens on November 5th. I think it's going to be the most important day in the history of our country. That's going to be the biggest election we've ever had because our country's going bad. They have, I used to say they are destroying. They've destroyed our country, and we're going to bring it back.
Today we had kids, Alabama, Georgia. We gave them a Kamala hat and a Trump hat like they do when they decide when they're recruits. Everybody we asked was putting on the Trump hat. I think you're going to kill it with young kids, college kids, in a way that you haven't before. Do you feel that momentum?
Well, we see it, and we see where we're way up with young people and generally Republicans, including me. And the last time I was okay, but I wasn't great. We're up by like 30 points with the young people, so that's an honor. Look, they see what happens. They're very smart, and look at the way she berated them. She said they're not smart. They're much smarter than her, I'll be honest, but I think we're going to do really well. There's an energy. We did great in 2016. We frankly did better in 2020. The most votes ever gotten by a sitting president by far. There has never been energy like there is now. And I guess it's me, but you know what it is? It's also when they look at what's happened to our country. Our country's going bad. Our country is a very dangerous place right now. When you look at what she's done at the border, it's a very dangerous place. But we love our country, and we're going to turn it around, and we're going to make America better, greater than ever before.
Last question. You came here in 2019. You saw Joe Burrow, Tua. It was an incredible game. For someone who has never been to a big college football game, Alabama all over the SEC, what are they missing? What's incredible about it?
Well, I've always heard the expression big-time college football. And I guess, NFL is great, but we have 125,000 people today. You have Herschel standing right behind. You talk about, they did ballads to Herschel, the Ballad of Herschel.
Yes.
Nobody like Herschel. But big-time college football is as big as the NFL. I mean, some people want to watch that as opposed to the NFL.
I would much rather watch college football than the NFL. The pageantry, the excitement, the students, it's so much more exciting, especially in person. It doesn't even compare. I'm sorry, Dolphins. I'll watch it tomorrow, but there's nothing like watching college football, especially down here in the South.
And I don't know what they're doing with the kickoff return in the NFL.
It's a mess.
And I don't want to get involved in controversy, of course, but it looks so bad. And I noticed they haven't done that in college, and they shouldn't do it. And I think the NFL should go back. I mean, maybe it's a little more dangerous. I doubt.
Ask yourself if Kamala could have that conversation. If she could talk about the new kickoff rule in the NFL proficiently. Has she even seen it? Does she know what it means? She would just go out there and alienate herself to an entire demographic that would laugh at her.
Doubt it's any more dangerous. It is, it's football. I think they made a terrible mistake in doing that. But you look at this, they haven't. It was the first thing I was looking at. I said, have they done it? They haven't. It looks so strange. And you don't take something that's working and change it. But this is really big-time football, and it's great to see.
I know I said last question, but Tom Brady's a friend of yours. He's calling games for Fox Sports now. How do you think he's done in the booth?
I think he's done really well, and I think he's going.
Clay didn't ask that question by accident. Last year, Tom, I don't know if you know this, last year or maybe a year before, Tom Brady, when they were interviewing him after a game, and they're, he's standing there, he's taking his shirt off, his shoulder pads, and they're talking to him. And over the corner, his locker is right there. And in the locker, he has a Make America Great Again hat. It was sitting right on the shelf behind him. And people completely freaked out. That's when people knew, and they started attacking Tom Brady.
To do well, and he's a winner, and he's a champion, and has a lot of people that are jealous of him, so they're always going to say, no matter how well he does, they'll say as negative as they can, but I think he's doing fantastically well.
Well, you're going to do fantastic, a little over 35 days. We know you're going to win. I know Katie Britt. I know Senator Daines from Montana, Herschel Walker. Everybody's out there rooting for you, sir. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much, Brad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so somebody asked me. So while that was on, I went and dug up the the Tim Waltz debacle. I didn't have a chance to edit it, so I'm just going to play it, and you guys can hear it for yourself. You know what was going on at this event, because this was him at the University of Michigan versus Minnesota game. They weren't having it. Nope. Don't want you here. And there's a couple more inside in the stadium if you guys want to look it up, but they're just like, get out. So let me pause here and take a few comments and let me know what you guys think of this stuff, because Tim Waltz is just what a mess.